Welcome to another weekly edition of the Hellraiser blog with Mickey Helliet. We've had a week off. Well, you blogged last week, but you were in Portugal, and how was that?
Sunny Portugal, burnt to a crisp. Yeah, no, very good bit of business, bit of pleasure. Good. Managed to squeeze a very short Hellraiser blog in there.
Yeah.
Much to my family's dismay, I had to go to the beach.
Back to work.
Yes.
In the time since, the most pressing news has been Nick Blackwell after his contest with Krys Eubank Jr.
For sure.
What do you make
I think
of that?
everyone in the boxing world, when they heard that news or they saw what was happening, they would have had that sort of dreadful feeling that we get, because you know people have been killed in boxing before. It's obviously very sad for Nick what's happened, and for everyone attached to him, and for everyone in boxing really. But it's sort of, to me, an element of happiness in it. In that, in the old days, which isn't that long ago, you'd hear bleed on the brain, and you almost got that instant, this guy probably ain't going to make it. You know, this is someone that's in a really bad way. With this set of circumstances that we've had with Nick Blackwell, it's almost like, because of the progression that happened, obviously Michael Watson's situation resulted in a court case, and therefore the boxing board restructuring all of their safety standards and how they sort of organise themselves from that side. The boxers that are there now, like, benefiting from Michael's hard luck story sort of thing that happened to him. So I never actually got, when I heard that there was a bleeding, there was a swelling, and that they'd got him off to hospital straight away, as they always do now. And yesterday they announced that he should be out of the coma in 2 days, and gradually he should regain health. That's a good thing. That's a good thing for everyone in boxing, and credit to the boxing board for real structuring and reorganising how they organise things. There's no safety measure that can be too much for the boxers. We've got to look after, you know, humans, their lives. You know, boxing goes on, life goes on a long time after boxing. It's one thing that you don't realise when you're young, that you do when boxing finishes.
What do you make of the comments from Krys Eubank to his son in the rounds between? Has had a lot of attention since the fight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I heard I saw the thing that circulated on social media where he's in the corner, but his last words are, "I don't think you should leave it to the judges." You know, that to me doesn't sort of ring out as that's compassionate. I think that's when you box someone and you hit them as hard as you can, time and time again, to the head, and nothing happens. You switch to the body. You know.
What did you make of the fight up until that stoppage?
Yeah, I thought Eubank impressive. You know, I thought he had the Billy Joe fight, where I think it was too soon for him. He hadn't had enough experience over long rounds at a high level. He sort of got maybe rushed into that a little bit too soon. But if they would, and they probably are going to box again. I would imagine they'll box again, and when they do, I'd be a lot. I really was very confident Billy Joe would beat him first time round, because I thought Eubank's either going to go flying in and realise halfway through the fight he's got nothing left because he's burned too much, because he hadn't had the experience of the long rounds, or he's going to hold back too much, which is probably what did happen. He held back too much energy and then tried to catch up, but it was too late, and Billy Joe was too far in front of him, sort of thing.
Do you think, obviously Billy Joe was ringside, do you think that Krys Eubank Jr. displayed anything that would maybe worry Billy Joe in that fight?
I don't think Billy Joe will worry about Krys Eubank. I don't. I think there's levels, you know, skill levels wise. Nick Blackwell is a very hard, tough, honest pro. But skill wise, I think even Nick Blackwell, anyone to do with Nick Blackwell, will say that he's not Billy Joe skill wise. You know, and because Billy Joe's got that, there is that gulf in skill level between them. I think Billy Joe will probably have no problem boxing them. Again, I think it will be a very interesting fight. I think Eubank now, he's not going into a fight sort of blind to what it's like once you got past 6-7 rounds. Now he knows, and he attacked himself, and you'll see a more confident Krys Eubank, I think, than the next time they box.
Moving swiftly on, the Anthony Joshua Charles Martin IBF heavyweight clash draws closer. I watched the gloves are off. Both men supremely confident, both unbeaten. What do you make of that?
I think it's a really interesting fight from the point of view that we're going to see like Anthony Joshua only probably for the second time in his career going in against a live opponent. I mean, he boxed Dillian Whyte in his last fight, which I think that was worthy of pay-per-view, and I think this is worthy of pay-per-view. I think the viewing figure is going to be through the roof. I think everyone's going to get behind Joshua in the UK, and we're going to see a good fight. I've got to say, I mean, I feel a little bit sorry for Tyson Fury because really, to me, he is the world champion. He beat the man that had the title for so long, and for that reason, he should be recognised as the world champion. And also, when they negotiate their world title fight now, they're almost going to come to a level negotiating table where really Fury, for me, is the genuine man that beat the man. But that said, right, we're going to see. I think Joshua should beat Martin. I think he beats him. Martin's maybe got the right style to trouble Joshua because he's very tight defensively, strong. His tight defence will help him maybe weather the storm early on, and that would be interesting because he has a very slow and steady approach, and Joshua so far has shown maybe a little bit more, not exactly erratic, but he's more seems to have just gone for it early. If he goes for it early and doesn't get Charles Martin out of there, and Charles Martin's experienced over those long rounds, that would be interesting. I still think Joshua gets him out. I think on the balance of probabilities he'll get him out, you know. But yeah, interesting. That's going to be something to look forward to. Yeah, it'll be packed. I think it's one of those few fights where the rest of the card you could put anyone on. You could put anyone and it will still sell out. People want to see Joshua against Martin. That's a fight that will sell probably 2 times the venue over. So yeah, that's
look
good.
forward to that one. Bit closer to home. It was announced 2 weeks ago, but obviously everybody knows now. Asinia Byfield.
Yes.
Versus.
I've had bookmakers on my telephone this morning asking me about. I'm really glad to have made that fight.
Yeah.
You know what? Asinia Byfield was so high in my estimations. You know, like he came. It's really used to struggle with his tickets. We managed to get him in his first year. He's had 9 fights. He's not been a pro for a year yet. So in his first year, he's going to have 10 fights. He's boxed on TV. He's now going to box for a title. And a lot of people say, oh, but he's a welterweight and he's fighting this huge puncher from middleweight that's coming down. It's probably going to, you know, then after the weigh-in get much bigger again. But what I've seen of Asinia, the improvement that I've seen in him, makes me genuinely feel he has a very, very live chance of surprising a lot of people. I actually think he goes and wins it. Honestly, I think he goes and wins it, and I think he's got very, very sharp, advanced boxing brain. He didn't really do anything in amateurs. No one's really expecting anything from him. He's just somehow improved, and I've seen things in the gym in sparring that are far, far ahead of what really I expected to see. You know, having seen him from his first fight, he's just improved tremendously. I mean, his trainer Craig Pine probably takes a lot of the credit for that, brought him on. But okay, so the opportunity came up. He seized it with both hands. The build-up has already been quite interesting. I've seen there been bouncing some Facebook messages between them, and we're going to see a really, really exciting fight. I mean, and it's interesting because people, we have a pool of people that maybe they're not really attached to any boxer, that they might come like twice a year or something, but they're all coming to this one. So obviously in the sort of boxing anoraks are getting really excited because they've probably seen the pair of them fight people on my shows over the sort of last couple of years, and then
yeah, they can't believe it's been matched.
And now they're fighting each other quite early on. Well, certainly for Asinia in his first year, so very early.
It's been a very quick year for Asinia. Did he not just have his 9th fight last week?
Yeah, that's right, exactly. He boxed in his hometown of Reading, and look, for a guy that struggled to sell tickets early on, he smashed the tickets. You know, really, really sold well. So he's a popular guy. I understand why he's a popular guy. You know, he's very, very brave. His attitude is. Like I say, in the sparring, I've sent him out for paid sparring. He's gone as a sparring partner, and I'm sort of being worried and concerned. I've even gone to the gym with him for the sparring just in case. I'm thinking, if it's too much, I'm just going to get, because I know that Muay boxing is the other trainer. Oh, one more round, one more, which for him at this stage could have been disastrous if it was too much. But I've never seen him overwhelmed.
No.
Never ever. And Arthur Herman is a ferocious puncher, and if he hits Asinia early, we're going to have problems. We'll have big problems. But
potential fight of the year contender.
It's all right. I think it would be surprising if it isn't a fantastic fight, because I know both of them really motivated. We're going to do a head-to-head next week with the two of them, and that'll add a bit of spice to the whole event. And I think as a boxing fan, that's exactly the sort of... I don't want to see like one guy 20-0 against another one that's 0-20. These are the kind of fights I want to see, and we've put it on and the tickets are flying out for that show, probably because of the way that we've made some of the fights, and that's going to be the top of the bill. A
50-50 fight that we look forward to covering in more depth. Mickey, thank you for your thoughts this week, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Nice one.